Well, hello, and welcome back to another Kingdom Maker episode of me, Mr. Gill. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for all of your previous views, likes, comments, suggestions, subscriptions, and all of that jazz. Ladies and gentlemen, right, we are sitting at keep level 22. We've been sitting at keep level 22 for a couple of weeks now, and I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about the idea, the strategy of pausing to grow. So effectively, this is kind of going to be my kind of five tips for Kingdom level 21s or 22s. Keep level 21 or 22, so to speak, but why we're going to pause. Now, the important thing to realize is that, so roughly saying, we've been playing about 4 months. I think it's about 120 days now that we've been playing, and we are probably in the average of players who don't spend money getting to this point, getting to about keep level 22 within that time frame. Now, some people have obviously gone a bit faster, and some people have gone a bit slower. Some people spend the money, so maybe they're further ahead and all that kind of stuff. But I think, kind of looking around at the players I know I've been playing with, level 22 or keep level 22 is about where you're going to get after about 3 to 4 months of gameplay. This is, in my view, an important thing to note, because it kind of means that across the server, what you're going to have now is quite a few people above your level after a few months of playing, and quite a few people just below, and then quite a few people in your kind of cohort. We're kind of sitting in that average, that bell curve. We're sitting kind of in the top there, the average, the mean, if you will, of all the players within a server at any particular time. Now, advancing too fast from this point is going to open us up to the players who have pushed ahead a little bit further, maybe spend a little bit of the old moolah, and who are stronger. That means that they have fewer people they can attack, and so by pushing forward a little bit too fast, what we're going to do is open ourselves up to constant attacks from higher levels, constant farming, so to speak. Within this server, there are definitely a few people who have pushed quite far, and they definitely don't have as many people to attack. So what we're trying to do here is think a little bit strategically, that's a word, and make sure that what we're doing is we're ready for the next few levels. So a few tips that I would do. So at this point, I would strongly recommend that anybody getting to keep 22 pauses for a minute. Now, why pause at keep 22? Basically, it just a kind of it seems like a natural spot. This is the spot just before you get your next army. This is one level after you've had access, if you've done your research right, to the gold troops. So we're talking the veteran troops, so we can start training those guys up. And it's going to take you a while to fully replace all of your armies. Now, for me, it's taking a bloody long time. An enormous amount of time to replace my armies, and I barely got these first two with the gold troops, so I need to do a little bit of work on that. Luckily for us, there has been quite a few food related events going on, which kind of means we have maxed out some of our food coming in, which is a great thing. But this is a great place to stop and to reassess. So what we're doing right currently now is we have constantly fully upgraded all of our buildings, so everything's upgraded apart from the keep, so we're ready to jump whenever we want to. We are now focused on getting all of that research done. Now, there's a ton of research to do before you can jump to the next level, or you don't have to, but what I suggest is that you do get this research done. And so we're going through now and systematically kind of ticking off all of those boxes, and I think that's super important. So my kind of thing, my goal, my tip here is pause and research. What you're going to find in the levels after this is that there's quite a few stronger people who have pushed forward a little bit more, and they are going to be able to defeat you quite easily. The way we're going to be able to counteract that is by having our research as fully ready to go as we possibly can. So that's my kind of first tip: pause, research. Now, in terms of research, it should be relatively easy for you. There is the quest, always the kill 'em all quest, which if you defeat various higher level enemy camps, you're going to be getting a load of wood coming through. I found that doing this every 3 or 4 days gives me enough wood in order to complete 3 or 4 researches a day whenever I kind of log in, so to speak. We could probably push that a little bit harder, and we might be looking at that. I've also found at this point you're going to be loading up on silver quite easily and stone. So this is also a good opportunity to start tributing down the stone to maybe some of the lower level players in your alliance and helping them lift up as well. Stone is one of the easiest things to get in the game, so don't stress too much about having too much of it. And when you start getting bigger, you're going to need a ton of the stone, so maybe save a little bit on the side as well. So pause, research, super important. At this level as well, I also think it's super important that you start attacking the Nightbringer citadels. So if we scroll out over here and we go to the Orklands, I believe our last video was on the Orklands, and we pop into somewhere like here, you will find these Nightbringer citadels, which are level 25, effectively kind of orc camps. These will give you stone, which is kind of great, but more importantly, what they're going to give you here is these gold noble tokens. So they're super important, and getting those gold noble tokens in and opening up these ones down here, the gold noble packs, which are going to give you a bunch more merits. Now those merits are going to be useful because for the third kind of tip, you really start to need to get your house in order, and by house I mean your family. I kind of think up until this point it's all right to piss fart around a little bit and not have too many, don't try and breed everything. But I also, sorry, 1 second. Let's get that guy, this lady doing some trading before the wandering merchant disappears. I forgot about that. 1 sec, trade, quick, select, small trade, done, like so. Some people might ask why I'm doing that small trade, because now they did nix the wandering merchant, so the small trade now costs merits in order to do. I am doing that because it is beneficial for these events, earning food. We want to rank higher in that, so that's why I'm doing that. I usually wouldn't be doing a lot of trading because I don't have the trade merits to spare. But back to the family, now is the point where you should be really focused on getting everybody up to legendary, which we have now, and then starting to breed your mythicals. Now, mythicals obviously are super hard to breed, but I think, it is just about constantly breeding. Here we are at an okay point. The only person we have left is our original captain, Mr. Gill, who we started the game with, who is now somewhat 52 years old and looks a bit haggard. I'm actually just going to keep him because I want to see at what point he dies of old age. Just testing it out. I want to see, where does he actually live to? Is it going to be 60? Is it going to be 100? I don't know. But we do have everything else kind of set up and ready to go. These are all legendaries. A couple of them I would like to mix up a little bit. This paladin is great, but there's a few of them which don't have 5 traits. Just have 3, so we're probably going to get rid of these guys at some point and get some new ones. We do have 2 breeding couples, so we're pretty okay to kind of breed, and obviously everybody else in my alliance has quite a far number of legendaries, so we can swap out and marry when we need to. But I think it's super important to start getting your kind of team set up here. You want to be having a good agent, you want to be having a good merchant. Now, some people will go, but the agent is a better version of the merchant. There are things they can do. Same with the collier and the prospector. The collier is able to, at opening up certain talents, I think it's this one, able to access mysterious versions of mines, whereas the prospector is not. The prospector is able to access glittering versions of mines, but the collier is not. So it's good to have one of each, in my view. Same thing with the merchant. Some things the merchant can do, some things the agent can't do. So it's good to have, and I would strongly suggest that setting up your family here, we have an agent, we have a merchant, we have a prospector, we have a collier. So there we're starting our base. From there, you're also going to need, in my view, a captain, a marshal, a knight, a paladin. You're also going to need a rogue, at least. So the rogue is going to be your who takes care of all the machines, and then you probably look to having an explorer as well. But kind of basically, if you have that kind of base of agent, merchant, prospector, collier, and then one of each of all of the rest, I think that's a good kind of point to aim at this keep level. Nobles are great, and that's what we should focus on. I'm pretty happy. I think I've got 2 more to replace, and then I'll be pretty happy with those kind of nobles moving forward. And my plan would be to keep them and to keep them young. So they're all pretty young now, but I would probably be buying some. Where is it? The things. Where's the things? How do you find the things again? Here. No. Yeah. Keeping the whatever this is, pearl cream. Magically removes frailty and makes you look 20 again. I think that's how we'd get those guys to be young. Nobles, good. Moving on. The next thing I'm going to be focused on, and I think I'm suggesting you guys should be focused on, is your gear. So for the last probably couple of weeks, I've been not improving any of my gear. We are actually still sitting on an enormous amount of just basic gear. We can see here, this is just all the kind of basic or second level stuff, but you can see I've started to make some of the let's speed this up so it's out of the way. Speed up, like so, and we're done. Cool. But you can see we've started to make some of this extra nice whatever this armor is called, uncommon or steel broadsword. Quite annoying that it doesn't show you what thing it is, but yeah, 20 to 30 cent unit damage. These things are great. So I think it's super important, once you kind of again get to this point, start saving up as much of the unit parts that you get, all of those things which you can get from like the Forgotten Battlegrounds and all of those things, saving those up and starting to systematically replace your gear so that your armies get those buffs, because they are quite considerable buffs. And in general, that's kind of it, is what I would suggest. I strongly want to suggest to everybody that they take a couple of weeks at this level, at around K21, K22, and they pause, they complete lots of research, they make sure that they're raiding the Nightbringer Citadels always in order to open up the gold noble tokens, in order to get more merits. They use those merits to upgrade their family. They do a lot of breeding so that, you know, the families are all good and everybody's looking nice. And just in general, spend a couple of weeks grinding. Now, we've been sitting here, as I said, for 2 weeks, and what are we up to? 1.5 million troops maimed, which is not too bad, but I still think if you look at some of the best or higher level players on the server, say currently here, their troops maimed are incredibly high. You can see also my boinks are a bit low. I really need to focus on that. Looking at power, we've got a pretty nice breakdown of power currently. I do want that research power to go up, and that's kind of what we're focused on at the moment. Oh, somebody spent some money. Well, I see. I think that could be better. I think the game could reward people who spend money with a better chest for their alliance members. But then again, maybe that would imbalance everything. I don't know. Right, so that was it. Just a little bit of a video. Now, obviously, you've seen less and less of the Kingdom Maker videos over the last few weeks. There's two reasons for that, and I'll be mentioning them in a couple of videos as we go forward. First reason is I got a promotion at work, and it's just been a bit busier. And the second reason is I just think we've done some of the basic stuff, and we're kind of waiting for videos that I'm waiting to make videos that are going to be a bit more about some of the kind of the more advanced techniques, and those definitely are going to be about the fighting and the PvP aspect. And now at the moment, currently on this server, we are in a little bit of a pause, a hiatus, a fragile peace, if you will, while waiting for news of the server mergers. Kind of everybody on the server is a little bit like, all right, let's wait for the mergers, and then we'll do some stuff. But we're in a growth period, a pause period. So that's one of the reasons you've not seen many of the videos recently, but there'll be a few bits and pieces popping up as we move forward. Anyway, look, I kind of hope people like that. It's a little bit more general style about why, I think you should be sitting at level 22 for a while. I think it's a really important point to pause and focus on some of your research and get yourself ready for the fighting ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below what you think. And I hiccup right at the end of the video because I'm drinking too much coffee. I'll catch you next time. Bye.